Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and we are joined once again by the one and only Anthem Blanchard, a friend and one of the brilliant minds behind AnthemVault and, of course, AnthemGold, a new gold-backed cryptocurrency which we will be digging deeper into today. Thank you for joining us.
My honor. Thank you so much, Josh. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, I hear it at least once a day. When will there be a gold-backed cryptocurrency? Well, you've got the answer to that. Tell us about AnthemGold, the simple synopsis, before we get further into it.
Yeah, AnthemGold is tokenized gold, and how we differentiate AnthemGold for any other tokenized metal product is by proving the custody and authenticity of the gold using public blockchain software itself. So we call that public blockchain software Hercules, and it's supply chain software. Proves the custody and state of the gold. You know it's real, and it uses the same technology as Bitcoin.
Absolutely. So you won't accept fiat, which is an interesting spin on the idea, but how can people be ensured that they can own the gold that it's based on, unlike the centrally planned gold-backed legal tender currency of the past?
You're spot on, because ultimately it's a multi-millennia, multi-thousand-year-old question. How do you know that the gold is there? How do you know it's been custodied? And we use public blockchain software sensors, so we use this protocol 8760, so if you multiply 365 days a year by 24/7, kind of clever, means that we have a total spectrum on what's in that vault. Anything moves, we know it moves. Anything that gets picked up, it goes onto a public blockchain. If someone wants to then demand an audit, they can. The bar goes into the spectrometer, which is an X-ray for the bar, and they can see that it's real. It's a tenth of a penny per kilobyte to put information in the system, and tenth of a penny per kilobyte to get it out. So it's kind of like a university system, and instead of some forced marketplace government supporting this structure in a bureaucratic way, you actually have to pay to put information on that file card, a tenth of a penny per kilobyte, and you have to pay to read information on that file card, a tenth of a penny per kilobyte.
Well, it's to some it might be complicated, but I mean, when you really dig into this incredibly innovating market, it gets pretty simple. I mean, the fact of the matter is you have something that is innovating the blockchain, and that's something that people should be in support of, because obviously there's a lot of bad cryptocurrencies out there. In fact, I'd probably even say even 95% of the cryptocurrencies out there are just terrible. But I mean, in a free market, in a competing currency market, we find the greatest innovations rise. And with that said, so it's entirely based on the price of gold. So does buying up a ton of AnthemGold tokens bring the value of AnthemGold up, or perhaps the price of gold up if the ownership is great enough?
So the price of gold, so it's 1/1000th of a kilogram bar. Of course, there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram bar, and so each AGLD asset token is backed by 1/1000th or 1 gram, and we're going to try to achieve about a 10% premium above the spot price of a kilogram bar, which is kind of on the low end of the spectrum of like a 1 gram physical bar to a 1 kilogram physical bar price differential, price per gram. And so we think that that's going to be reasonable. Basically what will happen is as we get orders in, it'll be like an fully audited ETF in essence. And as we get orders buying and selling, then we net those. Gold is a $200 billion a day spot market, so it trades like roughly over 20 times more spot than Bitcoin currently. So very, very liquid, very easy to get more supply. So it could very well raise the gold price though in the interim, and there could be like a little bit of a premium differential if there was like severe demand. But I mean, it would take quite a bit of more gold demand from where we're at today for that probably to happen.
So it's essentially wealth insurance kind of crypto, if I got this right. So it's kind of like it's not going to be as much about the speculative value as it is about keeping your money safe.
That's correct. So it's really more like something that is correlated price-wise to a dollar or a euro or a yuan or yen, but at the same time is in a cryptographic form. So it's a cryptographic token. It emulates an Ethereum ERC token, but it's faster, so we're able to use Lightning. It uses something called a mini-me-too contract. And ultimately, we have the ability to freeze that token because it's an asset token that derives its value from the asset. So, but it is still a public blockchain that ultimately is transparent. And the Hercules, what there is really a utility token. So there it's an ERC token. There is no ability for anyone to do anything other than just move it around, because it's a software access key that powers the open source software Hercules. That's supply chain software like an SAP, Oracle, JDA, what have you, but it doesn't take this really big cost structure, both upfront costs like one of those accounting suites, or all of the hiring you have to do from highly trained individuals for highly specialized software. So Hercules is meant to be really easy, and we solve the audit collusion that often happens with organizations and third-party auditors by having a firewall. People don't know that they're auditing, they're playing video games, and they're doing it on a mass basis, and they're auditing data. So it's the beauty of public blockchains coming together, and we're starting to see this awesome solution. That's all of our team brainstorming. We have a beautiful development team. They're geniuses all in their own rights, and just really accomplished and focused and purposed and passionate on our project, and we're just really grateful for them all. So
absolutely, and I've seen that there's a lot of people that are very passionate about that, and that's great. And it's actually interesting because not that long ago I heard Ron Paul on his show going, we need a gold-backed cryptocurrency, and here we go. Now with that said, going on to the next, what's the difference between your gold-backed cryptocurrency and the attempts of others to create a similar cryptocurrency?
That's, again, it's just the trust element. How do you know that the gold is real? How do you know it's custodied? How do you know it's 4.9 fine kilogram bars? Well, you don't unless you verify it, and then you don't know you can trust the verifiable data unless you can store it in what they call an immutable or a historically irrefutable way. And so that is where you can only use public blockchain software. It's the only software known that is able to store data in a way that's fully protected over time. And that if anyone changes any of it, there's a digital trail, an audit trail that avails itself. So it provides assurance that against bad actors that try to collude and ultimately, if they're really bad actors, do violent things. So that's really the peaceful nature of public blockchains coming to fruition.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. So why gold? I know personally, but because gold is historically prevalent, but can you go into the relevance of gold to you and your family history?
I mean, so with the family history, our parents really pushed to make gold ownership for U.S. citizens legal. So from 1933 through 1974, it was illegal for a U.S. individual to own physical gold, which is kind of insane, but that was the reality. So my dad helped to be paid for a biplane to go over President Nixon's inauguration in the early 70s, ended up getting gold legalized through a lot of his lobbying efforts, and my parents created Blanchard and Company, which they built to be the largest gold company in the world. They sold about 30 years ago, and just really always believed in freedom and trying to help natural rights and trying to help people be sovereign and live the lives they want to live and live peaceful lives and not have to be coerced by outside forces. So
absolutely, and if only more families actually work towards those goals, it's a great thing. So there's obviously a ton of manipulation of gold markets by banks, the ESF, crazy amount of ETFs, etc. Do you think this will last, or will gold break through the attempts by bankers to hold it down like a beach ball gaining pressure?
I'm of the opinion that gold is going to be relatively stable. I think it'll be a little bit price inflationary in fiat terms. I think that gold is interesting because I think it's also held captive by the fiat money system, and really with fiat currency is violent currency, and gold is the anchor of the violent currency system because it's the only instrument that these violent actors, these forced marketplace actors ultimately can deal with that they can't create more of to collude against each other with. So, I think that it's this interesting situation where I think you're going to see more financialization, leverage off of gold out of necessity of a central bank actor. I think you're going to see more central banks having to sell gold in weak hands. And I think ultimately what will happen is it's going to create a nice price stability, and it'll make gold a really nice pricing instrument ultimately for measuring goods and services. So as kind of a default. So I think if you're really looking for wealth creation, you really need to be looking to public blockchains and tokens there, because that's really the future. But Bitcoin, BTC in particular. But I think, and I'm not a wealth manager, just as friendly suggestion. That's how I think personally. Just It's going to be the core messaging system of the future. I think all these other blockchains that are trying to compete against, it as the core messaging system, which are really probably 80+% on coinmarketcap.com, really trying to compete against Bitcoin or Ethereum as core messaging system, or Bitcoin or decentralized application layer for Ethereum. And very few ideas have really gotten to that next, the next big total available markets, which are just several of them. So just.
Absolutely, and of course, you've got support by Simon Dixon and people like that. Great names, BnkToTheFuture. Again, like we try to mention in every single video that we do on any financial matter, this is our opinion, not sound advice. You got to do your own due diligence. That's the basis of freedom itself, responsibility. Now, with that said, going on to the final question, where can people find out more about AnthemGold and get involved? Is it ready to go yet?
AnthemGold.com is the best way. So Hercules supply chain software is launching first. So we're in the middle of doing that all privately behind the scenes, and we're excited. The development's pretty much there. We're in the audit process. So once Hercules launches, then we're hoping within a 60-day period, we'll launch the AnthemGold product. So that's the time schedule. We're hoping that by the end of Q2, both Hercules and then AnthemGold will both be launched. So that's the goal.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Josh. It's an honor. You're a freedom fighter and a hero of mine, so thank you again.
Appreciate that.
Like what you see here, WAM, don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube as the ADL comes in and flags all of our content as hate speech. You can also find our Bitcoin address in the description as well as on the screen for you to scan, if you please. And don't forget to find us at Josh Sigurdson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency, Steem that is. So don't forget to find us there, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.